and it's kind of sliding into something sexual, he never hears no. He'll never hear no, you know? It's just that maybe she'll stop calling him, you know, and then he'll take that as a no. But
are you pushing against the tide? I mean, there's a tide of not dating anymore. And you're insisting on dating, but that's not the way people are, men and women are pairing off anymore. They're not going on dates. Right. They're hanging out, they're going to a movie, they're going to a party.
Right.
Want to come over and watch. So are you like spitting into the ocean and complaining?
If that is the tide, then I do think right now this is all new to me. So, you know, like I'm just starting this, then I am going against the tide, you know. And I don't think a man and woman always have to go out on a date. But the minute she's a romantic partner, she's a potentially romantic partner, then go out on a date. And of course, there are relationships that don't start with dates. They just hang out and go out, and it just flows, you know. And that can work for a lot of people. Like they have the magical moment where they're just, you know, going on a hike together as friends and they kiss and, you know. But I think most women appreciate the process of dating and the process of courting, and it's very manly, you know, to put yourself on a line, to ask a girl out, to deal with the expectations that come with that, which is probably paying for the date, at least the first one, you know. The second one, generally, it's presenting yourself as a suitor that she can judge, you know, and it's also giving the man the chance to converse with her and see who she is, you know. It's forcing people to kind of get to know each other and look each other in the eye, you know, which is maybe hard to do in general, not only in dating.
You started this by saying this is all new to me. Dating's not new to you.
Dating's not new to me, but this kind of advice column for men is new to me, you know. I mean, I've given men advice throughout my columns, but making it a distinct section is something I just got off the ground. So there's, you know, there's still a lot to think about.
Since you've been going public about dating, since you started writing singles columns for the Jewish Journal, which may be 7 or 8 years ago you started. Yeah. So what's it like getting critiqued? Because people are not just critiquing your column, they're critiquing you as a human being.
You know, I'm like, I think a writer, and me at this point, it's like, I'm going to have people who love me and people who hate me, and that's it. You know, if I can't handle critique, I should not be an artist, because artists just have to handle critique. And I'm fully aware that I'm pushing people's buttons, so I think that's good, you know. When it becomes personal attacks, you know, it's not like I'm totally immune. I do think about things, you know, and some things can affect you, but I think at some point you just have to strengthen yourself.
Is this a pep talk you're giving yourself?
Maybe. No, I think about it a lot. It goes through my mind. Sometimes people maybe call me on my shit, you know. Some critiques are very good, and I need that. And you know, you take critiques and you refine yourself.
Have you ever gotten so much negative feedback on a particular column that you thought about never writing another singles column again?
I haven't, you know, I don't think I got so much so much negativity about my singles columns, generally. I don't think they were so earth-shattering, you know. I mean, I wrote political columns that pissed people off, probably more than my singles columns. Mm-hmm. So I think it's more seen as entertainment, you know. I mean, you didn't like some of my stuff. My Sex in the column, I think you critiqued. Meanwhile, you're telling me how much you love Sex in the City. He's smirking at the computer. I'm totally embarrassing him. It's my revenge.
What do you think is your best work?
The best work is not yet published. Well, I'm very proud of some of the political columns I wrote, more so than my singles columns. But I've been working on a novel for like 8 years that I've had like this terrible relationship with, like loving it and then hating it and wanting to give up and thinking it's good, not good enough, and thinking it's awesome. But I just started going back to it after thinking I had to rewrite it and just think, wow, it's really good. And that's going to be my hallmark, you know, more than anything, if it ever gets I mean, worst comes to worst, I'll self-publish it, but that's something that I work really hard on, which is Orit's mind in one document, like the whole complexity of my thoughts. And then I have other more philosophical books, which we first discussed when I was here in the hovel 9 years ago, or whatever it was, that will get published, that will get finished, one day. Bezrat Hashem, God willing.
When did you become aware that there was a pickup artist, PUA, that term, pickup artist, or the book, The Game Inside the Secret Society of Pickup Artists? When did you become aware of this? Well,
I responded to an ad in Craigslist of a woman who runs a dating coaching site seeking writers. So she commissioned a blog for me on the shit test, which kind of piqued my whole interest in this community. I didn't really know it existed, but then I started researching the shit test and researching this whole pickup artist community, and didn't know there was this whole world, of men who teach men how to be better at approaching women, dating women, or getting women in the sack. And I didn't have a negative reaction to it. I was like, wow, I wish some of my boyfriends had read this stuff. They really gave good tips. They really understood, a lot of these pickup artists understood what triggers attraction, whether it's just pure sexual or romantic attraction, and it was fascinating to me. This whole literature was fascinating to me. And then I started writing an ebook on the shit test and started researching it more, and then read The Game, which I loved. Ironically, ironically I'm saying is because so many people think women should hate that book because it kind of objectifies women. But first of all, I love the writing. I mean, I think he's a hilarious writer. I think he's a brilliant writer. This is Neil Strauss, The Game. And I think and I was actually discussing this with a friend, he says truths about women's response to men, which could be a sad statement on the way we think and feel as women, but they're axiomatic, ideas and ideals of how women think and respond, and how men can cater to that. He's teaching men how to cater to that for sex in some instances, although not always. But I think men can use that to get a woman turned on and excited and attractive and having the feeling of being in love with butterflies in her stomach, while also treating her with respect, which is kind of the equation I want to bring into it. But yeah, I thought it was great, and I think he's a good writer.
You're not resentful that he's giving away women's secrets, or giving away secrets to how to hook a woman?
Women want that. Women are romance addicts. I mean, we read romance novels, I don't, but we love stories and relationship stories, and we want men to turn us on. I mean, we want men to trigger in us attraction. We don't want them to hurt us, obviously. And I don't think he's advocating hurting women. And he even advocated not one night stands, but multiple night stands, so you can really get to know a woman and prolong something that's good, even though it's not going to lead to something long term. I don't think one night stands in general are pleasant for anyone, especially for a woman, maybe more so for a guy. I think he's doing a service, because women are sick of clueless men trying to start up with them, boring them to death, not knowing how to push their buttons in a good way. Women want to be attracted. That's what women thrive on, just having a crush, So all the more power to him. No, I don't want him to degrade women or teach men how to degrade women. I don't think that's what he's doing. But I didn't read his other books that I think are much more of a textbook rule book on specific actions you should take. So I didn't read that. I think The Game was a little more literary.
How much immersion have you had in the pickup artist community?
I haven't had hands-on immersion. I'm more of just a researcher of it.
Have you ever been a victim of a pickup artist?
Yes. Yes. And that's why I think women should read The Game, or women should read this pickup art literature, because so they can identify a player. They can identify why she's attracted to this one guy.